All I'm just saying is, I'm not saying act your age. Maybe act 20 years older, and just just while the campaign is going, because we miss your happy ass during the game.
You know what? All right.
So when your buddies are talking about streaking through Walmart with baseball bats, just take a pass.
Well, and I mean, you were snowboarding for the first time, and you when she said that you got a concussion, I was hoping that that started with, "Here, hold my beer," because that's how it always starts out, right?
I actually, I've skied I skied for years, like downhill skied for years, and it wasn't like it was really anything that new. I know what edges are. I know what all that stuff was. And
right.
Yeah, I wiped out quite a few times, actually, just trying to get the hang of it.
Right.
And I got myself down the hill, didn't fall, and I was standing there kind of halfway down, stood up, lost my balance, and fell backwards. It was like the worst freaking story ever. I mean, I calling in on Monday to work, and they're like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "I fell over."
Did you at least get a trick or something off? I mean, did you get a jump or a grind or an alley or anything? I mean,
I didn't even get a chance. I just got the hang of it.
Oh wow, I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to. Yeah, man. I mean, maybe you should go the other way with it. Next time just try to grind, the stair rail, and see how that goes.
Yeah, that's actually kind of what I said. I said it would have been better if I tried to do something stupid.
Sure, yeah.
It was real disappointing. And of course, buddy in accounting, Alvin, who's like, "Oh yeah, you're out snowboarding. So what happened?" I'm like, "I fell over." Oh, like, what do you mean? I fell over.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Like,
I'm glad you're okay.
See, I was the reverse. So growing up, I was huge into skateboarding. That was like my entire life, and
me too, right?
And social thing, right? And so my friends, in the winter, they would all go skiing with their parents, and I'd never been skiing, and so I went skiing. And having come from a skateboarding background, the idea of having your feet on two different planks that could go in opposite directions was completely foreign to me, and I'm like, this is bullshit. I do not like this. And so then many years went by, and my buddy and I went up snowboarding for the first time, and like I picked it up in like 20 minutes. I'm like, I totally understand this. This makes sense. Steering's a little different, but that didn't take me too long to figure out. And I was like, before I knew it, I was going down the hill like everybody else, and I had no problem with it. I'm like, this is way better. I'm not gonna break a hip, because my feet are going in opposite directions.
Yeah, and that was the whole deal. Like, I grew up on a skateboard. I mean, how hard could this be, right? Like, I understand the whole concept of it. And I'd say within a couple hours, I had a hard time figuring out how to get up. That was the only thing that was giving me a hard time, right? Because you'd fall down and you have to get up. And I'm old, so,
right.
That's a challenge for everybody. But I kind of had it figured out, and then I just kind of fell over, and I'm like, well, shit.
Right. Yeah. No, when you fall, you kind of you have to try to think in slow motion and make it so that you fall on your ass. Otherwise, it is work to get up, or it can be.
Yeah. And I can, and getting up from my ass was a little bit tricky, And that was what was giving me a hard time. But I could just flip over and just get up on the toe side of the board, and everything's good.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is going to be a fun night. I figured out how to get up. I can get moving. I can turn. I can kind of glide down, and then I'm standing there, and I just like fell over. I didn't realize how bad it was because I probably shouldn't have driven home.
Well, if you spent a night in the hospital because you had a concussion, then yeah, it was pretty fucking bad, dude. Like, holy shit.
It was embarrassing.
Right? Yeah.
You know, they've made this thing. It's called like the Q collar. I'm not sure if it's ever actually hit the market, but it puts just a slight pressure on your jugular vein, and it backs the blood up in your head to take away the cavity effect. A simple experiment: if you take like a 2-liter bottle, and fill one of them just totally up to the top and put the cap on, and then the other carbonated drink, leave that just natural. Step on a 4-foot ladder, drop them both. The one with the gap in it is going to explode, and the one that doesn't won't. It's the same principle as the woodpecker. It has a tongue that wraps all the way around its head and will kind of choke its stuff up, and that allows it to do that head hit all the time without fucking it up. The rams do the same thing. They cut blood off when they think they're going to take a hit, and it does. The Q collar was tested on a lot of football teams and stuff. It lowered concussions by really good numbers. So if you're ever going to do anything dangerous, just kind of put a little pressure on your jugular vein.
It's similar to...
I've done so many, like, I have been blowed up, burned, stabbed, shot, and divorced. Okay, and in each of those things, I've managed to survive and walk away.
Right.
But there is, I've hit my head. I have a massive scar on the front of my head. I don't know whether you can even see it.
Yeah, you can see a bit of it, yeah.
Not a big concussion, but that back of the head hit is what did it in.
It really rang your bell, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm still not 100%, but I'm not going to stop living.
I realized...
Oh, yeah, no shit.
So, like, in the last year, actually, I realized that I am old, and the realization of that came about when I actually fell in the shower twice. The first time wasn't so bad, but the second time, I went ass over tea kettle, and I missed hitting my head on the toilet by about an inch. And and of course, and the funny thing about that, it must have looked like something out of Looney Tunes, right? Because I fell onto the shower curtain, which stretched it tight to the tension bar that was hanging the shower curtain, right? And so it's stretched tight, and there was about that split second, I'd hit the ground, I'm like, oh, that hurt. And then the shower bar came loose and went into the back of my head. So, I mean, it was like a whole Wile E. Coyote moment, and that really chimed me good. I was laying out, and my wife, our bathroom's so small, she couldn't even get the door open because I'm laid out flat on the floor. And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm just going to lay here for a minute. And then I'll get up. Because I was still soapy. I'm like, I have to get back into the shower, wash myself off. So then your head kind of goes into that mental process of, I have to do these things, and then I can decide whether or not I need to go to the hospital.
Wow.
Because I'm not going the way I am.
On Thursday, my wife made the decision to go to the hospital for me. That was we're going. That was it.
Yeah. I try to wait until my family forces me to go to the doctor. I've never gotten sick until the doctor told me I was.
Well, yeah, I mean, always wait until, somebody else realizes that you're speaking in tongues and reading things backwards before you decide to go to the hospital.
Yeah, you just take some Robitussin and maybe an aspirin and just let it ride. I'm joking.
Get some yourself and you're good, right?
Yeah.
Little Vicks vapor rub.
Oh, yeah, that fixes everything.
That'll work.
Yeah.
So we were guessing what caused this. Was it a snowboarding accident, or what triggered your concussion?
Yeah, I heard you guys talking on the stream. So. It was, it was done on a snowboard, but I was telling these guys it was nothing exciting. Well, okay,
Oh, that's too bad. You can't. Don't
I
know.
was I had just figured out kind of had to move around, and I was standing up and my back was downhill, and I lost my balance for a second and I fell backwards. And there was that extra kind of foot from being downhill, and I'd kind of forgotten about it for a split second. So as I'm kind of tucking to roll back, saying, "Oh crap, I'm falling over again," I lost my balance halfway through the fall, and my head hit the ground so hard it cracked my helmet and cracked my head. There you go.
Wow.
I fell over.
You cracked the helmet. That's quite an accomplishment there. So yeah, that'll let you know how hard you hit.
Man.
Oh yeah, it was hard. I had no doubt how hard it was.
Well, I am glad that you are doing okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to Deepnight Revelation. We are back after our holiday break, so we'll be picking up where we left off 2 weeks ago with these guys arriving on Acadie, the wonderful planet you see before you. Before we get started, we'd like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. Tonight, we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard Company makes beautiful and delicious smelling scents for your beard, such as they've got oils, butters, balms, co-wash, beard wash. They have a spray-on cologne. They have, I think they've got a deodorant now, body lotion for the ladies. And each of their scent profiles is a different fantasy character. Tonight, I'm wearing the Hero Beard Balm, which is a cologne-scented beard balm, but they have many, many scents available. Another favorite is the Woodsman, or is it the Woodsman? Yeah, the Woodsman or the Ranger? I forget. Anyways, it smells like pine trees. It's quite good. But I'm sure they have a scent that you would like. If you're a first-time purchaser, you can go to their website, fablebeardco.com, and they have a buy one, get one free option. Just put 2 beard oils into your cart and use the code FIRST in all capital letters, and you'll get that second beard oil for free. If you are a fan of our Traveler game, we do have a website, and it'll be posted down below in the description. Via Obsidian Portal, the adventure log is written in the manner of Traveler News Service articles, but that'll change as these guys get further and further out away from News Service Agency, which probably is going to be quite some time, although I don't know if where you guys are at would count for Traveler. I don't know that Traveler News Service makes it all the way out to the islands, but anyways, they're news articles, and they kind of detail what's going on in the region or what's going on shipwide, or as these guys kind of become more and more famous, they'll become more and more front page news. And I'm sure that with all of their antics, they will be newsworthy fairly soon. If you like the page, please go to the front page and give us a thumbs up. We do like to see those fan links.
I'm sure the islands have their own news.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, and we're gonna we're gonna get into a bit of that too. So one other thing, if you are a fan of old school revival role playing games, and I know that a great many of us here are. I do have a new campaign setting out. It is designed for Old School Essentials Advanced Fantasy, but it will work with any BX-compatible game system, such as Castles and Crusades, or even old school D&D. It will work with them. It is called the Brawnhaven campaign setting, and there are the Brawnhaven campaign setting. There's a holiday adventure that was put out that you can download for free, and there is the Light in the Church, which is the second module. The Brawnhaven campaign setting actually comes with the first module, and the first and second module can actually be put together to create a 3-level dungeon with 111 rooms that should take most parties from levels 1 to 3. Check them out on DriveThruRPG. Just search for Brawnhaven, and they should pop up for you. So, where we left off, you guys, you went to Amondiage in the island subsector, and you were tasked by Imperial Intelligence. Basically, you guys were kind of a hot commodity, and so it was in their best interest that you not really talk to reporters or anything about the whole Endeavor situation. You did learn that Endeavor was obliterated, all hands lost, and they blamed it on, some mishap. And that basically everything that they said in their news article was complete crap. And so they sent you on a mission to gather an intelligence asset. It is a ship that they've had flying around posing as a free trader, or not a free trader, a fat trader, just bopping around the island subsectors, trading from one port to the other. And their real mission is that they are gathering intelligence. The island subsector is a very peculiar area where the Imperium kind of fucked up. So two things happened. The first was that there was a misjump, and a naval ship ended up misjumping, and the belters of the area... No, I don't think anybody survived on that one. And the belters of the area found the ship and started to backward engineer the jump drive. Well, then another Navy ship many years later misjumped and jumped into subsector area, and they were in the process of making repairs when they were discovered, and they decided in an act of diplomacy that they would give schematics for the jump drive to the island subsectors. And the reason why this was a major screw up on their part was that the island subsectors has many factions, and they're not all friendly to one another. But it wasn't a big deal because at the time they didn't have jump drive, and so who cares? It would take 150 years at minimum for one of their ships to reach from one system to the next, and nobody cared. They had some local forces and whatnot built up, but that wasn't really a major concern. That suddenly changed when somebody could arrive within 2 parsecs in a week, and now all of a sudden the region has blown up into interstellar factional disputes. Not necessarily warfare, but man, it's right on that edge. And so you guys ended up on a mondiage looking for the perfect stranger, which is a fat trader, Type R. And the thing with the Type R is that it usually only has one jump, but Perfect Stranger has been heavily modified, and its cargo hold has been segmented and can actually be filled with hydrogen so that you can make multiple jumps, deep space jumps. And I think, let me double check here. Maybe I did this differently. And I don't know that that JT or Gabe saw Perfect Stranger, so let me find it. Yeah, here's Perfect Stranger.
Yep, I actually watched the stream the other night, so.
Okay. Yeah.
I make sure. Yeah, that's the only thing I could really do, and I have to limit my screen time to like a couple hours a night. So
right. No, I gotcha. So yeah, Perfect Stranger can make multiple jumps, and when you got to a mondiage, you discovered, well, it's not there, but you did find a, in your search for Perfect Stranger, you did find that there was a posting, basically a customer bitching about Perfect Stranger being, they if they could have rated it less than 1 star, they would have, because the crew were surly, and it's called Everyone's Guide. It's basically the Craigslist of the island subsectors. Basically the saying that, it is surly crew, terrible food, and oh my god, it was such a terrible ride. And I like how they have a guinea pig as their avatar. Anyways, and so it wasn't there, but you did finally learn that it never actually was on a mondiage, That's simply where the corpses were sent from the crew, and then the corpses were shipped from Amandiage via naval tradition back to their corporate masters. They never did figure out that these guys weren't really with a corporation. And so you were told that it was on Acadie. And so you booked passage on a trader, and come to find out, of course, too late. I think you learned it after you had, or in the process of leaving, if I remember correctly, that these guys are actually gun runners. And they are smuggling Imperial weapons to Acadie. Now, Acadie is a colonial asset possession of Amandiage. And you guys basically, you did some wheeling and dealing, and you pulled their asses out of the fire at the last minute. And they were able to make the jump. And the captain of the ship was perfectly willing to cut you in to the tune of about 2,000 credits per person. And you guys told him, no, we don't want your money. Just what we want you to do is tell everybody we were in low berths and that we had no idea of anything that was going on. And then we will never speak of this again. And you made your way to Acadie. So here is wonderful Acadie, the not so paradise of the island subsectors. It is a frozen, let's see here, we've got ice caps, ice fields, and frozen land. So yeah, Acadie is a ice ball, and probably not a very big world. I'm not even looking at the code, but I can tell you, just looking at it, it's probably not very large, and as cold as it is, it's probably a ways out. And he brings you down to the starport. When you get to the starport, well, everybody, well, you don't need to make a I was going to have you make a recon check. You don't need to. In the week that you of travel time, the library computer and of course your shipmates kind of let you in. You know, Acadie's not so bad. It normally has a law level of 3. You know, they have a very liberal gun policy. The downside of Acadie is that their biggest thing, their biggest export, they're a mining world, and the mine there, and it is at a location called Huron. They have their ups and downs. So the people of Acadie, they have one major city, which is the Star Town. And then there's Huron, which is about 20 miles from the Star Town. And the people of this mine at Huron, they sometimes decide to strike. And they go on strike, they, down with the oppressors and, screw Amandiage. And that goes on for a couple of months, and there's protests and whatnot, and then things die down, and it goes back to the status quo. And Amandiage's response to Acadie doing this is, when things are working well, everybody makes a lot of money, and the lifestyle of everybody on the planet is doing very well. When they strike, Amandiage has no problem sending in the thugs and making people lick the boot until they toe the line. Well, this time seems a little bit different. The strike is going on longer than normal, and when you get to Amandiage, you discover that it is not currently law level 3, it's actually law level 6. The liberal gun laws have been currently revoked, and it is currently illegal to walk around with firearms in or even blades over a certain length in the city or in the starport. And the first thing that happens is, as you guys are coming into dock, you can hear, I'm imagining one or two of you are probably on the bridge as you're coming into land, that on the comms, that Acadie Customs is, of course, wanting to They want to do a custom search of the vessel as soon as they land.
Boy, this captain really picked a bad time to run guns. And we believe that the Imperium, the guns that they're running are Imperium, from the Imperium, right?
So
is that what you? It seemed like you said that last time,
so
indicated.
Jack, while you were in drive space, the last thing that I remember that you guys were doing, Jack, Gabe's character, was sent down to help to stow the weapons because they have smuggler compartments, and because you guys were in a hurry, the rest of you were up on the bridge, and so you'd sent Jack down to help stow those. Jack got a good look at the weapons. You're talking about advanced combat rifles, some Gauss weapons. These are all stamped with Third Imperium, Instel Arms trademarks. These came from the Third Imperium. These are GI issue. So yeah.
Right. I mean, originally they're from the Imperium. I mean, who knows who purchased them, routed them here?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
but
it doesn't necessarily mean that the Imperium is funding, rebels. These weapons could have been purchased from anywhere.
Well, it's not really my place to talk to any kind of customs officers. I mean, I have no admin, no advocate, and I have no persuade.
Remember, you guys are set up. You guys are just passengers, so it's really up to you. You could go and sit in the low berth area, and pretend that you don't know anything about what's going on.
That's what I think I want to do, is just kind of go down into the low berth area with all my gear and snatch my transceiver up and just try to contact the port and check in, ask if there's a Taz location or whatever. I'll announce myself as Dr. Bocephus and just explain, I'm just coming out of low berth here on the Spider's Fly, and
that's right. That is the name of the ship, isn't it? Yeah, the Spider's Fly.
Yeah, and I'm just wanting to, I have some firearms that I need to check in for a locker and stuff, and I just like to declare, my personal property here. Friends.
What type of ship is this? I mean, is it a far trader, free trader?
It's a far trader.
Okay. And
actually,
what?
No, I take that back. It's a fast trader.
Fast trader. Okay.
So it's not the same. It's the same hull design. It's a Beowulf hull design. It's just got a little bit more oomph in its rear end for maneuver drive.
Got it. What's the policy of the system, the planet here, in terms of landing? I mean, do they have to land at the starport, or can they land pretty much anywhere they want on the planet? I mean,
there's really nowhere else to land. Although, I mean, it's not like there isn't a billion places for you to land and you can crack ice,
right.
But that's going to. They've already been contacted about in a customs inspection.
Yeah.
And so that's going to really set off the alarms.
I was just curious what the captain's options were. That was that type of thing.
Does he have an air raft or a grab raft or something that we could, borrow? Well, I mean, we'll park it there. Or
I do not believe,
I mean, it's 4 tons of cargo space. If that's but I think if he's got to land this, right? Because he doesn't have the fuel to not land.
Right.
So his options are, he could, I guess, refuse and go try to skim a gas giant. But
as stupid as he is,
he does not. It's a 200-ton ship with thrust 4, jump 2, and 36 tons of cargo space. But he's got no. He does have 20 low berths. However,
anything anything we do to try to help and assist on the official end ties us to this ship and its crew. And I mean, I think we should land and check in as traveler.
Well, I mean, he had talked about the idea of changing his registration on this ship in the future, and finding out if he's got contacts that can help with that type of thing.
Yeah. So the current
islands.
The current name of the ship is no longer Spiders Fly, and I'm at a loss for coming up with a new name.
Judas Priest.
There you go, Judas Priest. That's a good one. And and so
Bitchin' Camaro.
Yes. The Judas Priest is its current name. It's got a completely different registration number. And so, the authorities, but what you gather is that it sounds to you like they're checking every ship that comes in. The situation on Acadie is not good.
Maybe suggest to the captain that, hey man, the best way to avoid, suspicion is just to do what normal people do. The best camouflage is just to look like you're supposed to be there.
Right.
And if you've got your hidey holes here on the ship, you should trust them. And maybe bribe the inspectors with a goodwill gesture of some sort. Perhaps money or some fine alcohol.
So the captain gets up and he pats you on the shoulder. He's like, "Don't worry, I think I've got this handled. Why don't you why don't the four of you go down into the low berths? You're just my guests. You're my passengers. You had nothing to do with anything." And so you get down there, and Bocephus, you make your call to Mondiage Port, and this young woman answers, and she is actually quite pleasant to talk to. She's like, "Well, you are just so kind for calling ahead, and rather than waiting in line and taking up people's time," she says, "Well, we don't have a TAS here, but we do have a Advantage Hotel, and they do have rooms available. We don't get a whole lot of visitors here, and there are lockers available to stow your arms here at the starport, and we will go ahead and give you a voucher for those arms. They are under security."
Oh, that is wonderful. I will make sure and leave an outstanding review of what you've done
on everyone's guide.
Yeah, on everyone's guide. I know how important that is here. Me and my companions, we're coming to find our ship and reclaim it as the perfect stranger, and we have proof of ownership, and so we're just traveling. There's a small entourage I have.
Go ahead. And do you have either diplomat or broker?
Oh no, I don't. I have persuade.
You go ahead and make a persuasion check plus your charm.
Plus my charm?
Yeah.
All right, so that'll give me a nice +2 is not bad.
It's always good to be charming.
Sure is. Getting a 9.
Okay. So she says, "Oh, yeah, here, hold on. I can go ahead and look this up for you." And she says, "Why, indeed, we do see that Perfect Stranger is docked here on one of our holding pads." She says, "But I will tell you, the ship is listed as on hold."
Well, we'll be sure and claim that. We had some people that were managing the ship, and if they've left it in holding, we'll come in and talk to the proper authorities. That's fine. And then I've got this on like a loudspeaker, so all of the crew can hear this shit. So, right. Yeah, if any of you are wanting to poke me or stop me or shut me the fuck up,
Oh no, continue.
Yeah.
So Jack, being your pilot, you would know something about this. Jack, you can go ahead and make a pilot plus intellect check. So on a 14, you so you're like, you understand what a holding pad is. Obviously, Perfect Stranger's been sitting here for a while, and so they had to move it over out of the way. But as you're coming in, you can look out the windows, and you're like, well, this is a Class C port, and they ain't that big, so it's probably still in the way. But what gets Jack is the on hold. You're thinking to yourself, what the heck does that mean? You've never heard of that term. You've never heard of any ship that's been on hold.
Just a question. And the ship's on hold too, and we're on a ship that's running guns. What kind of defenses does Acadie have? Like for their starport, things like that. I know it's only a Class C starport, but
they are fully armed with missile racks and beam lasers, and they probably got a few fighters sitting around. So I mean, it would be unwise to try to abscond with anything and leave the port. They will probably shoot you down, and if they don't, you would be wanted all across the island subsectors.
Yeah, okay. Now, that wasn't. You're thinking I'm going to try to steal the ship back?
No. I just thought I would preempt that.
Yeah, no. I just kind of wanted to know what they had. I was kind of curious.
Yeah, no, Class C starport, but they do have plenty of missile launchers and fighters and things like that. So
even the most backwood Class D starport or any whatever, they would understand a ship that big, has a lot of value to it. And, the owners of the ship, might send someone like us first. But, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that, it's in their best interest to get this ship off their books and out of the fucking way. I mean,
well, the big thing is whether or not the crew and possibly the ship are involved in a criminal procedure, and then whether or not docking fees are owed before we can remove the ship. I mean,
yeah, but
it's been sitting there for a long time. We might owe quite a bit of money to.
Well, we'll see how. I mean, they're not going to kill us or shoot us on sight. It's just my thing. Yeah,
we're representatives. We're representatives of the company that owns it. We're basically taking ownership of the ship. So
and you've been given access codes to the ship. You are legit owners, but you've got a transceiver. I mean, if something had happened, your immediate thought would be that it would probably show up in the news, right? I mean, that's
probably so we'll turn the news
on.
on.
You can go ahead and check the news.
I'll do that.
Go ahead and make whoever wants to can make a electronics comms plus intellect. Or a computer plus intellect, whichever.
I've got a computer. Does anybody have better than 1 plus 2 for intellect?
I have 1 on intellect and 1 on comms. So I'll get a +2 on the roll.
I'll get +3.
I've only got a 1.
Okay, I'll do a quick check. That's going to be a 10 altogether.
Okay.
Nice.
So you look up some information, and you have to go back several months, obviously. But you do find that there is a news blurb. Hold on here. So you find a news blurb saying that there was some kind of firearms-related incident at Huelon, the mining site, that involved Perfect Stranger. Beyond that, the details are scant. There is next to nothing about, who was shot, who did the shooting, nothing. Just there was a firearms related incident from a trader call, or from it specifically states from a ship related to the vessel Perfect Stranger. And that's all the information you get. And it does state that 2 crew members were shipped to Amondiage, deceased, which you already know that's how you ended up here.
And so we're not here representing the Imperium. We're here representing a private company that owns the ship.
That's the cover, yeah.
And they're based out of the Imperium. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so our story is that we're here to retrieve this ship and fly it back to the Imperium, right?
Correct.
I mean, that's okay. All right. Just want to make sure that I've got the story straight before we start talking to people and saying the wrong things. Okay. So perfect. Yeah, because it sounds like we may be walking into a situation where the Imperium is seen as helping the rebellion, and that could be bad.
Yeah,
so,
this is one of those situations, and it's funny because you really do see this all the time in the news, and most people don't realize what they're saying. But one of the biggest, I guess, covers or fronts for espionage are nonprofits. The nonprofits that go into other countries to help with, the sick, the poor, whatever they're doing over there, are like just a floodgate for espionage. I mean, you got intelligence agents walking in and out all the time because of that. And a perfect example of that was when, and this happened 5-6 years ago, where Venezuela kicked out Mercy Corps. And they didn't give any reason why. They're like, no, we just want you to pack your shit and get out. And I knew exactly what was going on at the time, and I can't tell you how I knew, but I knew what was going to happen, and I knew it was going on, and then all of a sudden it happened, and I'm like, oh yeah. I know why, duh. But yeah, so this is the same exact situation. This company is basically a shell corp that is a front for Imperial intelligence, and you guys are officially representatives. Now, when you were on Amondiage, and the feeling that you get while you're in the island subsector is that nobody here wants to do anything to rub the Imperium the wrong way, and so you guys are like in your own special subclass. Oh well, we don't want to bug you too much. We don't want to put you out of your way. And so, so the ship makes its landing.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, did that captain did he have somebody hack the transponder mid-jump, or is he because I know he's talking about squibbing his ship, right? And so I don't know if he was going to go somewhere else to do that, or whether that was something they did mid-jump. They just hacked the.
He has a transponder that is already set up to transmit multiple IDs.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
This isn't his first rodeo, in other words.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I was thinking that there is a very good chance that we may need something similar, and so I was wondering if he planned on going somewhere else or had a contact, or
right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So Thanks. you guys landed at Amondiage, and the captain of the ship, the first thing that he does when you land is that he opens all the doors. And I don't mean like the airlocks, but like interior opens all the doors. So even the door to your low berths is opened, the low berths that you didn't sleep in. And, Acadie Customs comes in, and he is nice as pie. And the Acadie Customs officer, he's your archetypical lieutenant that's looking to try and find a way to buck up the rank. And the other two start going around. They look like they have the IQ of Velcro shoes. And one of them comes up to the open door to the low berths and says, are you passengers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you an inspection crew?
Well, yeah, but do you have papers?
Well, we've already radioed into the Port Authority. They are expecting us, and they've already given us vouchers and waivers.
So yeah, here's the papers we have, and here is the goods we're bringing in, and
he says he looks it over and he radios in, and you know, he's on a comm dot, and after
Tabitha is who I talked to. She is an amazing person and representative of your people. She's so nice. Just saying.
Here's my record of vaccinations.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you
all
been
of us are
inoculated?
vaccinated.
Yeah. So he kind of looks over your paperwork, and of course your paperwork's all got the imperial or the corporate stamp on it, and it shows that you're owners, and it's the title of the ship. And after what seems like far longer than it should have taken, he hands the papers back to you and says, "No, it seems like everything's in order, and you did indeed radio in ahead of time, and be sure to get those weapons stowed. We wouldn't want to have to confiscate them."
Oh, thank you for the advice.
I'm sure Jack's like, go ahead and fucking try it. Rip your arm off, hit you with the wet end. So the captain, these guys are going over the entire ship, and the two additional or the two guards end up going down and ransacking the cargo bay, and the captain is still up at the bridge talking with the lieutenant and going over his logs. You guys have been pretty much cleared to go.
We should take our exit very nicely and politely and go
for the
check our
ride.
gear.
Let's go check in our weapons and
yeah. So long. Thanks for the fish.
So
yeah.
So my
Best
question
of luck.
is, are you guys going to try and stash a weapon on yourselves?
Not
No.
me.
I mean, you got now. You might be sad that you got rid of that that Derringer.
Nah. I mean, you could punch somebody with that amount of damage it did.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I only have a rapier and a stunner. If I have to hand over my stunner, I'm happy to.
Oh no,
yeah.
you can keep the stunner. They're
All right,
in
cool.
fact, they're going to give you the thumbs up. They're like, "Oh my God, you are such a great citizen."
With a law level of 6, what did you say the law level was here?
Currently,
6.
it is at 6.
Which means cloth armor and above's outlawed.
So, am I okay to carry around my shotgun then?
That is a very good question. Let me.
All firearms except for shotgun and stunners, right? Because stunners falls in the same category as shotguns for some odd reason.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
It usually depends on where you're bringing it. Corporate board.
Well, you got to be able to go hunting.
Yeah, exactly. Go hunting.
There's a lot of hunting on this iceball.
They tend to be frowned on at corporate board meetings.
Yeah.
No. I'll just sling it over my back like a hookah or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you are you're good to go. Everything battle dress, combat armor, flat cloth, and mesh are all banned presently, but you are allowed shotguns and stunners.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Let's see here. Oh, and you are indeed allowed bladed weapons. So if you want to carry a rapier, you can.
I don't know how to use it, but sure.
Yeah, it makes you look cool. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
You don't see very many people walking down the street with a rapier, and you probably don't want to talk to them if you do.
I'm just gonna.
Since the law level changed rather recently, are they cracking down on cloth armor, or is that still banned as well?
It is banned.
Okay.
Yeah, mesh and higher is all banned. Which, I mean, that doesn't really leave a whole... I guess even flak is banned. I mean, that doesn't leave a whole lot, does it? I don't know, this list is a little bizarre, but
Yeah.
Because at law level 8 it says all visible armor. If you have cloth and you are wearing something over it, that's entirely up to you.
No worries. Okay.
I'm following the rules. There's no reason. I don't. I don't have any motivation to break the rules right now. All that do is make.
I'm going to check in my dual auto pistols, and just I'll check in my hatchet too, because I still have that hatchet. Because you never know when a tree's going to have to be waylaid, and I'll just carry around my shotgun just because I can.
Right.
I'm checking everything: the back suit, cloth armor. I'm just basically wearing a medical, my scrubs and the med kit.
It's got to look great with all the duct tape and stitch work that's been done to it.
Oh well,
super glue patches and
I will carry my special doses of the secret sauce. I still have 2 of those. I'm just gonna have them tucked into the med kit.
That's medical stuff. That's perfectly clear.
I've medically used it several times.
So
I'm just going to wear like a flight suit. I'm going to get rid of like the cloth armor, the jack, and I'll check my vac suit in with my weapons and stuff like that. I'll just wear a flight suit.
What's Jack going to do? You going to try and stash a pistol?
No.
You going to keep a Chekhov gun in your underwear?
I'd like to keep my dagger concealed.
Yeah, you can, but bladed weapons are currently legal.
I'll carry a stunner in the open.
Okay, yeah. All right.
I'm checking the rape here. I don't want to invite the weird looks that that indicates.
You don't want to end up on that news article.
I don't want to be challenged to a duel. That's what I figure. If walking around with it, you're likely to get challenged.
There has been over here. There has been. I think in the last 2 years, there's been at least 4 news articles where somebody was killed with a sword, and I'm like. What year is it?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are buying those samurai swords.
They were always a katana. Always. Every time.
Purchased at the mall.
Yes, at the flea market.
There were Spencer's Gifts type stores.
Yes.
Very important. So I don't want to carry one because I don't want that invites.
You don't want to be on Fox News.
If you could promise it would, I'd carry it.
So, as you guys, you check your stuff, and the Tabitha she's at the desk, and she says, "Oh, are you Dr. Bocephus?" And she gives you directions to where the Advantage Hotel is, and she says, "Well, it's just up the street on 6th and Oak," and You guys are aware of Advantage Hotel. They're basically the Motel 6 of the charted space. They vary in quality depending on where you're at. Everything here is, they do a pretty good job of clearing the streets, but it snows frequently. Later in the evening, it turns to ice and sleet, and then the next day. It melts a little bit and then snows again. So there's snow everywhere, and it is cold.
How much does the storage? Can we apply that to the ship's credit?
So you were each given 10,000 credits to spend however you'd like. You also have 10,000 a credit balance per month of 10,000 credits. That you can charge things to.
I think we ought to charge the locker to the company.
Yeah, the storage lockers are 150 credits.
Or you've got that notepad to deduct that?
You know what? I did. Hold on here. Somewhere. Let me see. I forgot about the notepad.
Oh.
Oh, it's right here. Right on my desktop. So you currently have a 9,000 credit balance.
I mean, if we're just going to hang out right here in port and go talk to the Port Authority, which I think probably Sarda is the admin person to go, maybe front that. I don't know. George, do you have the skills to, I mean, we'll obviously get the lockers real quick. What, 150 for all of them?
Yeah.
Or is it each? Yeah.
No, it's for all of it.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
we're not hearing you, Sarda.
You know what? I'll grab the lockers for everybody. I've got enough credits here.
You don't want to put it on the credit?
No, we're going to keep that.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, George.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna keep that credit for some play money in case we actually do need it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trained in admin. I'm not great at it. I've got a 0, and with my education, it's +1. So.
Yeah, I can sign my name. There's my admin.
And with intelligence, I'm at +0.
And so Tabitha directs you as well. Not only does she give you directions to Advantage Hotel, she also gives you directions to Port Authority. And she says, Rodney over at Port Authority is really excited to talk to you because I guess he's kind of irritated that Perfect Stranger's taken up his space.
Oh, well, we can get right on that. Thank you. That is amazing. Do you have like a kiosk terminal or something here so I could go ahead and leave you a great review?
Oh, we certainly do. And she points over, and there you see that there's like a little cluster of. At first, you look and they look like phone booths, but they're not. They're little privacy curtains with a little kiosk computer system that you can public terminals.
Oh, I'll go on and hit it. And yeah, Tabitha at the desk is the queen of all existence. All should bow to her greatness. It's just such a joy. 5 stars, and I'll pick out like some random little picture of a fairy with little wings and shit as my avatar for this system, and then blam, hit send.
Okay.
And and I'll go follow, wherever. If we want to go to the hotel first, we go to the hotel, or we go to the Port Authority and see what the fuck is up before we spend money on a hotel or deal with that.
Yeah.
Rodney's waiting on us.
Give me just a second. You guys talk about, do you want to go to hotel first or Port Authority? And I'll be right back.
I say we go to Port Authority. If we can clear the ship fast, we don't really need to check into a hotel.
That's right.
But if it's going to take a while, we may need to get a hotel.
I think you're right, though. I think that it's got a little bit of a... It's probably in there on Hawk, right? And they said it's on hold. It's been there for, at least a month, if not more.
I guess it's the route do we want to go. If we want to go the admin route, then, we try to file paperwork and shit and get it cleared, If we can get a persuade and a charm, I can get a +2 on the roll to try to sweet talk it. We'll have to get some cold weather gear, if we're going to stay here too fucking long. He's right about that. I don't have any of that shit. I've got a back
I don't
suit.
usually travel around with a parka.
Yeah, but... perhaps we could buy something that maybe the hotel has a gift shop, but then he said Motel 6, so I don't know. It could go either way on that, I guess. Might be something here in the starport if we travel about too much to get local, typical clothes for this environment.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. If Rodney is just a quick desk or two over, like it seemed to see, Tabitha seemed to say, then God, that's the least resistance. I mean, it's right there.
Okay, what did you guys decide?
I think we're gonna go talk to Rodney and see what's up, and then possibly get cold weather gear or something if we're going to be here too long.
Yeah, so on the way to Port Authority there is so it's like you're in the archetypical airport and there's this concourse mini mall on the way to Port Authority, and they sell your base minimum puffy cold weather jackets, things like that, for people that are new to the area. And I mean, you guys are basically wearing spacer jumpsuits at this point. And I looked up the wrong book. Hold on here. Yeah, so I would say that for anywhere between 50 and 100 credits, you guys can get yourselves some decent cold weather gear.
I'll buy 4 sets. That covers all of us. I'll take 400 out of my thing.
Okay.
Everybody, yeah. Pick you out something nice, guys. I'm going to pick me out something furry and flamboyant.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm walking around like a, I'm already kind of freaky looking, so embrace it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a high-class doctor that works for whatever the hell the name of the company that we're with is.
Yeah, getting cold weather gear. I mean, that's something we could always take with us. We don't know where we're going next, so.
Yeah.
So while you are picking out something flamboyant, you do find this you find 2 very interesting things, Josephus. You find that they have a small shelf with Lords of Space action figures. And so Lords of Space action figures, these are small 12-inch animatronic toys that they were a pretty big craze in the Uncharted space a couple of years back. But they act like they're new here. And, they've got, different models, alien races, different careers, notable personalities. And there's a collectible, they do have the collectible droid worker model. And these, like I said, these are just little robotic toys. But they run like 250 credits each.
How many of them are there?
They've got like 7 of them.
7 of them? Does anybody else want some of these? I will point them out. Because if not, I will buy the lot.
Collector's items.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
don't take them out of the packaging. You'll ruin it.
Right. Oh, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to take all the stuff. If anybody wants to buy one or whatever, I'll buy the lot of them and see. Or we could do the ship thing.
I think they're pretty badass, but I will allow you to pick up the lot. If there's duplicates, I'll be willing to buy a duplicate, I guess. If so I'll let you have a set. But if there's any dupes, I'll buy the dupe.
All right, so that's 7 of them at 250 each.
Yeah.
All right, sure, I'll buy those.
The other thing that they have, and it's hanging on little hooks like keychains. They are remembrance holograms, and so you can buy one of these and put somebody's picture in it, and then every time you open it, their picture comes up in a hologram.
You can put the deep space ship on there.
Things I never want to go back to. This. And those also run 250 credits each.
Oh, I'll point that out, but I'm...
How do you get your picture on there?
It could be just uploaded with any computer or like digital camera from your like Bluetooth from your Mobicom.
Okay. I want 4 keychains.
You what? You want 4 of them? All right, yeah.
All right, so these are... I just list these as action figures or something?
Start handing them out to girls and port. I'm going to be gone on a long trip. Keep this, baby, to remember me by.
You know what? You might be able to resell those things. I mean, the value in deep space there, they might have heard of these. You might actually
make a trading commodity on
on
Revelation. Yeah.
These are like robotic toy collectibles.
Yeah, they're basically robotic GI Joes that are 12 inches tall, so they're a foot tall.
Like the original GI Joes.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I find really funny about this particular item, and this is the first, it just occurred to me. This is the first time that I've seen in Traveler where they use inch rather than centimeters or meters.
That's because they know that we are playing their game.
They know that we're the idiots that are going to buy Lords of Space.
Yeah, I did. Lords of Space.
I bought them all.
Yeah.
Well, you have to look at who the author was, whether they're American or not.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I just noticed that. I was like, huh, that's not metric. Weird.
And Britain does bounce back and forth between metric and they're not completely metric.
Well, these are kind of heavy animatronic toys. Each one of these guys weighs 1 kilogram. So I'm like, wow, that's a heavy action figure.
1 kilogram?
Yeah.
2.2 pounds.
For a 12-inch toy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they, solid metal?
Well, yeah. They're like Tonka, you know?
Voltron.
Yeah.
Yeah, original G.I. Joe's
Voltron,
plastic.
Yeah, Did anybody have the Voltron that you could make? That with all 5 lions that put together? That thing was massive. That's how I got my biceps as a youth. Picking that thing up and moving it around.
It seems like, I know there's a robot that you can actually buy that's a little tiny action figure too.
Right, yeah.
Obviously quite a bit more money, but...
Yeah, these aren't quite that good. Like I said, these were popular a couple of years back. So you guys get your cold weather gear, you're appropriately equipped, and you make your way over to the Port Authority. And you get over to the Port Authority, and the Port Authority is like a mix between... it's like a mix between a tire shop and, baggage claim. And so here's this guy, and he's wearing a baseball cap backwards. He's got a pot belly. He's wearing, the technician's overalls. He's covered in grease stains, and he's typing something into the computer, and he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth as you guys walk up.
Well, okay.
Sweet.
And he doesn't say anything. He just kind of looks at you. If you've ever seen one of these guys with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth, the one eye is kind of closed because of the smoke, and he kind of looks at you out of the other eye, but he doesn't say anything.
I took the lead on the last one, and just as a player, fair turnabout means someone else has to deal with this one. This is Rodney.
He does indeed have the cursive name label that says Rodney on his jumpsuit.
He's not wearing a flight suit that has Rodney and the blue trim writing.
No, it's a patch.
It's a patch.
An iron-on
name tag.
That way, if Rodney quits, they could just, iron on another patch.
Yeah.
But as you approach, he kind of looks up and he's like, "Yeah, what can I do for you?"
Well, we're looking to take ownership of that ship that's been sitting on your lot for quite a while, and wondering what we need to do to get it out of here.
Says, which ship would that be?
And this is where Will blanks out on the ship name. I'm sorry.
Perfect Stranger.
Perfect Stranger.
That's right. I need to keep thinking of Balky. So, yeah, the Perfect Stranger that's been parked there for quite a while.
Says, wow. God, it's about damn time. He says, hold on a second, and he starts typing away on his computer. And he says, so let's see, man, that ship's been here sitting a long time. He says,
yeah, I'm sure you must really need that landing spot for some other use.
He says, you bet we do. Yeah, this is gonna make the salvage teams real upset, but you got here just in time. We're not gonna be able to give it to them. It says, due to the prolonged presence, the current fees are 72,000 credits.
Yeah, okay.
How much?
72,000.
72,000.
The standard's $5,000 a week. So yeah, that's not at all. That's why I was worried about.
So Sarda, I will allow you to make a. You can make a.
This is why I was worried about docking fees. I know what
you've
the
got.
docking.
You've got admin, right?
I do. I'm not great at it, but yeah.
Go make an admin plus intellect check, and this is just going to be a. This will just be a routine check.
Oh wow! I have a +0, so I got a 12. That's it's boxcars.
So, yeah, 72,000. That's what they're asking.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of money. Well, we're gonna have to, I guess, take some jobs to be able to pay that down. It might be a while.
Meanwhile, it's going to keep accumulating too every week, right?
He said, so.
Well, meanwhile, they're not able to use that landing gear. That must be a real pain for them.
He said, yeah, that is a real pain. Maybe we can massage that number a bit.
That'd be great.
He says, Rodney says, so how much you got?
Let me see here.
Can I make a quick try of something real quick? It's a really high roll, but if I pull it off, it gets us past this. I want to send a suggestion. That's a difficulty 12.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I roll real good, perhaps I can suggest that he gives us this for 2,000 or some shit like that.
He's gonna. Yeah. We're gonna have to leave like immediately if you do that, because we don't know if that ship's even flight capable.
Right. If you're against it, I won't try it. But
well,
I mean,
so the thing is that he's not putting this money in his pocket, right? It's gonna have to go. It's gonna have to go to.
This is the current fees that are accumulated at the port.
So now, if he all of a sudden drops it to $2,000,
that's probably a better.
What about if I suggest that he gives us the maximum discount?
Jack, do you have admin or?
I do have admin.
Go ahead and make an admin check.
0.
I mean, well, you got a 12 though. I mean, it's probably going to go pretty slow. I can hold off on it if you want.
So Jack realizes that 72,000 is. You understand that the port is kind of pissed off that this thing has been sitting here this long, but Jack realizes that number is highly inflated. The more appropriate number is probably around 25,000.
So when I got a 12, I didn't realize that.
Oh, you got a 12. I thought you got a 2.
I got boxcars.
Oh, you got boxcars. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry.
I just noticed you rolled that high, Will, or I would have shut the fuck up and let things
ride.
I'm sorry. I thought you got low too.
I thought you rolled.
Sorry.
Too. So
Snake Eyes. That would be Snake Eyes.
Right.
Sorry.
No. So yeah, you realize that the more appropriate number is probably around 25,000. But as soon as you guys are talking about, it's gonna have to sit on the pad. And as you're doing this, Rodney is looking over your paperwork, of course, and he's like, well, and he hands it back to you. He says, like I said, maybe we can massage that number, but you have rightful ownership of the perfect stranger. You can go ahead and board her immediately, but until that fee is paid, I don't recommend trying to take off.
All right. Well, how about I just give you $25,000, and we call it even.
Make a persuasion or broker check plus your choice, either charm. Your social's really not going to apply here. Although,
all my stats give you +0. It's the only one that gives me a bonus is education. So it almost doesn't matter what stat you ask for; they're all +0.
I will allow you to roll that with education.
Sure.
Because, like I said, you know what the real fees are. You're educated.
I'm 1 point below the break line for like almost every stat. It's like 8, 8, 8, 8, 11. Yeah, it's very frustrating.
I've played those characters.
Okay. Yeah. So we're looking at let's see. I don't have any. So you said broker, or what was the other? Persuasion?
Yeah, either broker or persuasion, and you can add your education to it.
Perfect. All right.
You are clearly more educated than Rodney is.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's where I blow it. All right. So I got a 5.
He says, maybe we could go more close to 50,000.
All right. Well, that's gonna take a while to get the money. So I guess how much more are we gonna accumulate it for a week?
What's the Crime Stopper fee for turning in the guy running the guns on the ship that we arrived in?
We don't need to burn any bridges.
It will continue to accumulate docking fees per week. I mean,
what
technically per day, but per week.
What will it be accumulating?
Well, it's about 1,000 a week.
Well, seems like it'd be worth it to get rid of that shit quicker.
I think I want to go ahead and shoot that suggestion at him to give us a maximum discount.
There you go. There's the persuasion.
Well, you have the other option. You have the other option in that. So, right now you can wait. You don't have to pay this right away. You can board the vessel, and you know nobody else knows. You know that this ship is an intelligence asset.
Well, I mean, I personally have 52 grand. I mean, I have 52 grand in cash myself.
What do you know about spies? Has anybody seen the Blacklist?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I've got enough to pay the 50 grand myself. It's just I don't really want to pay that much.
Right. So. That's why I'm going to try to just send a suggestion. I mean, he won't know if I fail. If I fail, it'll cost me 1 side point, and if I make the roll, which is a difficulty 12, then theoretically he's supposed to give us a maximum discount because I'm sending him a really hard suggestion. So that's what I want to try.
Go for it.
Yeah, but that's a 14.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So he he looks down, and you guys are kind of talking to one another. He taps on his computer and he goes,
we're all doing I've got 5 grand.
Yeah, you guys are going through your wallets, and he's like, you guys seem like you seem like good people, and we don't want to make a scene with Imperial Corporation types, so we'll go with the 25,000. We can do that.
All right, I'll transfer the money over. It's been sitting there for quite a while. I'm assuming that Port Authority and people like that have gone through it. Is there a log of all the folks that have entered or worked on the ship during the course of its...
nobody's worked on it, but yes, Port Authority and Customs have gone through the ship, and he tells you that, and there's a log. They note that nothing. The logs that he gives you notes that nothing was taken off the ship.
And I mean, it's been sitting there for a while, so I'm sure there's been a lot of talk. Offhand, do you know of any work it needs done? I mean, we're here to fly it home, so...
He says, I would imagine that as long as it's been sitting here, your pre-flight checks are probably going to take a couple days.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what kind of condition she's in. We didn't have any techs go over it. We just moved it to the holding pad.
Okay. All right, well, I appreciate it, and I'll give him the 25 grand.
Okay.
I mean, we have a $10,000.
Yeah, we can use some of that too. Let's use.
Well,
that.
yeah. I figure we're gonna get 10 grand a week, so eventually it'll get paid off. So it's probably easier if I'll just pay it and then eventually pay me back type thing.
Okay.
Right. So 10,000 a week that we're getting. So
So you guys walk out onto the tarmac. And you kind of walk down to this holding pad, and way off in the distance, in the back 40 lot, is this R-type fat trader sitting there, and this might be one of the first times you guys have ever walked up on one, but they are, for 400 tons. They are 400 tons, right? I believe that's right. They are gargantuan in size. The cargo bay, the front cargo bay kind of opens in a sideways clamshell, and it's so big that if it was just a little bit wider, you'd be able to dock a far trader in the cargo hold. I mean, It's big. The first thing that you notice walking up at Fat Traders have a launch that is stationed on the top rear quarter. It's missing. But you get up to the ship and you put in your codes, and security goes green and the doors all open for you. You have access to everything on this ship.
Do they have video? Onboard video logs?
Possibly.
Do I need to
check those out? Find out what happened. Maybe we can find out what happened to the launch as well.
I'm gonna go and get our locker storage moved to the ship. I don't know if it'll.
Good idea.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go deal with that while you guys do this ship, and in reality, I'm gonna go pee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll have something for you when you come back.
I've got a Geiger counter. I'll just sort of start going and checking
So the first thing, so you know that this ship, you know that it was an intelligence asset. You were given blueprints of the intelligence asset, and you know that. So Sarda, you're going over the ship with a Geiger counter, and you know George and Jack. What are you doing?
I want to just kick the tires, turn it on, see what systems are working.
So
not working.
You sit down at the bridge and you kind of do a pre-flight check. Everything seems to be operating, and then you realize that there are some key systems that are not operating, and they won't even come on at all. There is a break in the control pathways. Sarda, you're walking towards the rear of the and let me.
Yeah, I'm just going over the ship first with the Geiger counter just to check radiation levels, and then I'll go to the ship sensors and check the environment and atmosphere and.
So yeah, this is Perfect Stranger, and I mean there is a lot of staterooms and whatnot. So Sarda, you come back towards the rear of the ship, and you're noticing that what is so your common area here. You get back to here, and you're seeing in the staterooms that there are. It looks like everybody just got up and left. There are books left out. There are clothes still hanging in all of the closets and all the staterooms. The common area is a mess and completely overgrown with mold because evidently they were interrupted in a meal, and that hasn't been cleaned up.
Right.
But for your eyes, essentially what you're seeing is that it looks perfectly serviceable. It just needs, to be hosed out and cleaned up. You get to the back here, and you open up the hatch to go down below.
Yeah.
And you know that down at the bottom of this hatch is what they call the systems room.
Okay.
That's not a normal room found on Fat Traders. This is a modification. This is where the logs are.
Okay.
Or should be. And so you open it up. It looks like... Well, this is the outside of Perfect Stranger.
That looks far better than probably any picture of a subsidized trader I've ever seen.
It does look a lot cleaner, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's the heroic shot of a...
Yes. All the shots I've ever seen of them, they're a lot rounder.
Yeah.
And a lot more beat up. But this is the service shaft going down to the systems room.
Sure.
And you get down there, and there are a number of tablets and logs laying around, computer systems. Sarda, go ahead and make an investigation plus intellect check. Meanwhile, up on the bridge, George, do you have computers?
Sure do.
Go ahead and make a computers plus intellect check.
That's my specialty. Actually, not really. That's going to be an 11.
Okay.
I rolled an 8 plus 1 computers plus 2 for intellect because my intellect's like my highest skill.
I'm not trained in investigation at all, and my intellect sucks. So I got a 4, so I don't notice much.
So you're not sure. You come down into the systems room, and the systems room to you looks a bit of a mess. There's papers all over the floor. There are papers that seem to be torn out of binders. There are tablets that are just scattered. And all of the tablets are reading 0 on battery. But just eyeballing it, you're like, somebody ransacked this area, and I can't tell if stuff's missing.
All right. Well, I won't touch much. I'm gonna let our agent, who's actually good at investigating things, look at this. But yeah, I'm just.
Are you gonna radio up to?
Yeah, I'll radio up that it looks like looks like somebody's ransacked the. It looks like people left in a hurry.
Once I figure out the video display, I'll go down and I'll try to investigate that as well too. I got a skill in that as well.
And honestly, if this was being recorded, you might want to rewind and see, what happened when the crew left, and then what happened if afterwards when these come in or out of this room. I'm not going to touch much here because I don't want to mess things up. My main thing right now is just focused on. I want to make sure that the environment is safe. So I'm checking everything in terms of that. I'm not going to go through data pads and stuff like that. I'm not touching things. Yeah, my focus is more like, do we need respirators for the conference room where the mold is? That's the type of stuff I'm focusing on at the moment.
So, George, what you get for your computers check?
I got an 11, sir.
Okay. So you're going through and you find that the security and electronic systems seem to be mostly intact. Security for her critical systems are all. It shows that there has been some sign of penetration in the security, but it doesn't seem like it got very far. Being an intelligence vessel, the security on this ship is actually pretty good. You do see evidence that the flight logs have been downloaded, and you are finding. You find that there is the navigation computer, astrogation computer, and the astrogation logs are still intact, and that somebody downloaded those as well. However, you get in with your codes because you have all systems access, and you find that the astrogation logs point to a other location on the planet or system, Herzen's Lust. And Herzen's Lust, hold on here, I'll tell you. So, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Traveler Map has an app for your tablet or phone now.
Oh, cool.
And it is epic. I love it.
I've been using the Traveler tools quite a bit for trade. Yeah.
The Traveler Map availability on having it as an app on my tablet is fantastic. So
it's one of those sites where you realize how much there's a lot of functionality to it that I know I'm not making use of. It's like the more I play around with it, the more I realize I can do with it.
Completely, yeah. So Herzen's Lust is a ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's at least 9, maybe 10 parsecs away. But you're finding coordinates in the astrogation computer to something called Drop Point Hotel, and that's all it says.
Okay.
Serta, make a recon check.
Sure. Another skill I don't have. Let's do that.
Why not?
Actually, I did train it up to 0. That's right. I got a 10.
Okay.
Wow.
So while you are down here in the systems room, doing what you're doing, you find you're kind of poking around with your Geiger counter. You find under one of the desks that has these computers on it, you find a hidden compartment under the desk, and strapped in this kind of duct taped in there is a lockbox.
Okay. I will radio again to George's character and let him know that I've located a lockbox under the other side of a desk. I'm not going to touch it. I don't know. I'll let you investigate it with everything else down here.
It's not reading as radiological.
Yeah,
so.
I know that. Yeah, but my whole focus, like this whole sweep, is right now just to make sure we have a safe environment. And I'll let George worry about security, type things, and then that type of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm doing I want to make sure we're not walking into a dangerous ship. That's really all. My initial focus.
Jack, what would you like to do? You know that there are control pathways that are not working.
How do I go about diagnosing those?
Do you have engineering?
No.
You do not. Do you have mechanic?
No, but I'll roll it.
So go ahead and make an engineering plus intellect check, and you will be at -3 for being untrained. Yeah, you get
2. No.
So Jack's up on the bridge and he's flipping a toggle switch, and he turns over. He looks over his shoulder to George. And he goes, "It don't work." that's his professional opinion.
Switch.
Yeah, switch. Tick, 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 tick,
Yeah.
tick, tick. Bocephus, you leave and you look fabulous. You've got this like white parka on with like a rainbow colored fur hood and like a rainbow colored scarf around your neck. Make a recon plus intellect check.
I could probably do that. Let's see. Intellect's 1 and recon 1. So this would be a +2. Oh, it's something.
Ooh.
7.
Okay. So you
nice.
You get up to you get back up to Tabitha's desk, and she says, "Oh well, it's you again. Did you find Rodney?"
I sure did. He was very helpful. He gave us a wonderful discount, and I need to see about getting our contents of our lockers are not in compliance with the local law level. But I would like to have them transported over to my ship. I don't just want to empty the locker and carry it and do something that could be viewed as illegal or criminal. But I would still like to see about mine and my companion's property, which we've already purchased in the locker, to have it transported over. If there's a fee, I understand.
Oh,
Did you notice my review that I gave you?
And she says, "I did, and I thank you very much. You are such a sweetie. I will go ahead and I will get that equipment passed over to Perfect Stranger. That will probably take, it'll probably arrive within the hour." And as you're standing there, this gentleman walks up in an immaculate suit. The jacket's unbuttoned, and he comes walking up and he says to Tabitha, he says, "Yes, I'm looking to purchase a ship that is in holding." And she says, "Oh, well, hold on just a moment, sir." And she types in and she looks at Bocephus and she says, "Oh, I will get that transferred over. It should be there within the hour." And then she switches over to him and she says, and which ship are you looking to purchase?" "Well, I'm here to collect salvage on Perfect Stranger."
Well, if I may interject, sir, I am Dr. Bocephus, and we have just claimed our ship and paid its fees, and you can kindly get that out of your mind.
I thought you were going to tell me to fuck off. Because that's what I would do in real life.
Oh, I hear you. Well, no, I have a character to speak that way.
Right?
That's what I mean.
And he says, oh, well, that is quite disappointing.
Not at all. It's very encouraging.
Well, yeah, it's good for you and your company. Yes, I completely understand. Well, then I will go back to my benefactors and let them know that this is not a done deal, as they say.
Oh, well, perhaps, your day might not be totally in vain. We're attempting to locate the launch that was on that ship, and if you could happen to know about its whereabouts, I could be persuaded to pay a finder's fee, kind sir.
He says, he kind of stammers for a minute, and he says, I wasn't aware that there was a launch. I'm not even sure what class of vessel this is. I just come out and I
is
just
there
purchased them
anything in the logs where it would say where the launch disembarked? It should have something there to say, like...
It does. So it shows that the logs show that the launch left with a crew of 4, and they went to the mining site. And that's all it says. They went to Julian. You don't know why. It doesn't say why. It doesn't say what. It says that they sent the launch with 4 of the crew members, leaving 2 aboard Perfect Stranger to Julian. Or Hallian.
Is there perhaps a air or grav raft rental?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for your time. I will go inform my companions.
They've got a grav raft rental is 50 credits per day plus mileage.
Oh, 50. Oh, that is wonderful. If you could go ahead and reserve one, please, to the Perfect Stranger.
Okay.
And you could have it delivered to the Perfect Stranger, and I will go ahead and pay. I'll swipe 100 credits.
Okay.
To get it for a couple days.
Okay. Yeah.
Right there.
Done deal.
You have to deliver that as well, and then even though I am not the purser, I'm going to go ahead and head back as if I was like a boss. Just...
Okay. Make one more recon plus intellect check.
All right. Oh, that's not a 4. I want to do the 2. All right, here we go. 8.
All right, so you get back to Perfect Stranger, and you walk in, and Jack is still flipping switches up on the bridge. It don't work. This didn't work. That doesn't work. So Perfect Stranger is not in flyable condition, is basically what Jack comes up with. And George, you do find that, like you said, they did send the launch to Julian, the mining site, and that is the last that you heard of it. And then there, of course, there is the ransacked systems room down here in Area 8 in the sub deck. Now, some of the other things that you discover about Perfect Stranger, and I cannot believe I'm usually better than this. Did I not? What was I doing? I don't know what I was doing. Anyways, I will rectify this for next week. That there is a couple of Perfect Stranger has a couple of nifty surprises. It does have 2 pop-up turrets. 2 pop-up triple turrets, as a matter of fact.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they are aft. It is capable of defending itself. It's still, though, no matter what you do, it is, it's still a fat trader. So it's like trying to fly a bathtub, but it's got guns. These areas here on the subdeck, this is your cargo hold. Unlike other fat traders, this has been segmented. And if there's no cargo in here, the entire cargo hold can be filled with fuel, thus allowing it to make multiple jump ones. So you can do deep space jumps and not have to worry about it. And you can decide, well, we're going to fill 1 and 2 with cargo, and 3 and 4 are going to be fuel. And so you can pick and choose which you want to fill.
Okay. There's a lot of crew spaces, so
Yeah.
I mean, everybody should be allowed. It's easily enough to be able to.
Well, on some of the logs you see, that's one of the. In addition to lumping around cargo, the crew was making additional money by carrying passengers. So you've got the ransacked systems room, and of course, Sarda also found the lockbox duct tape underneath a desk that you guys haven't gone down and investigated yet. Unless George wants to go down there and do that.
Still up here working. I figured out either these switches are broken.
You can go
or
ahead.
the lights are broken.
The blinker fluid's low. That's what the problem.
The blinker
So-
is low.
So once I've made the rounds with the Geiger counter, my plan's to log into the ship's sensors and scan the interior environment.
Okay.
Make sure see if there's anything we need to be concerned about. In terms of.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a sensors plus intellect check. And Jack, you can make another engineering plus intellect at -3 check.
What is 5? Number 5 on the list?
I got a 9 on that sensors check.
That is a very good question. Okay, so hold on here. 5 is storage rooms. They're just general storage, crew storage, stuff like that. 4 is your recreation area.
That's where the mold is. Is that correct? Or is it 3 is the kitchen area?
3 is the common
it's in the
area.
kitchen area.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure how that worked. Yeah.
I'll go about cleaning that.
Okay, you're gonna go ahead and start cleaning up the.
You're going to
common area.
disinfect it with your medical ways.
You got the lemon pledge, and you're gonna go to work.
Yeah, I'm just really going to start right there in section 3 and kind of work my way toward the bridge. I'm going to clean the ship. That is what I'm going to work on.
Okay.
Cleaning, dusting, all of that. I'm just going to kind of work my way that way.
That's so weird. Huh. All right.
Well, someone has to do it.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my map. I'm like, what, did I?
I kind of want to go through the personal effects of the people to see what we can learn about them. The people that she said that they left pretty quickly, but I wanted to. I'm scanning the environment. My focus is always safety. Make sure that our environment is safe.
What did
All our stuff in a grav raft or an air raft is on the way. So I mean, we can go to the mining site when that arrives.
So on a 5, the best that Jack can determine is that there is at this point.
It's not the switches.
It's not the switches, and it's not blinker fluid. The the connections between the bridge and these critical systems, the flight surfaces and controls, are interrupted. Is the best that you can determine. Sarda, on your 9, running sensors over the ship, you don't find anything. There's nothing dangerous on the ship.
Okay, no contaminants.
No
contaminants.
contaminants. No.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That's my whole focus. Before I start feeling comfortable taking off the protective gear and stuff.
JT, did you want George to go do some investigating?
Yeah, that was going to be the next thing on my list. I was just going to wait for everybody else to finish up.
So Bocephus is cleaning.
And I'm going to clean too, but I'm heading to crew quarters to kind of clean and organize.
Kind of go through and organize, yeah.
Poke through their personal goods to see what I can learn about them.
Okay.
Yeah, JT, let's do that.
That is a 6 plus 3 is 9.
So in your investigation, you discover the one and only reason for you to be here is missing. The intelligence, the computer core logs, or not the logs, the computer core itself has been pulled out of the system room. It's physically gone. Now, you doubt that anybody on either Acadie or Amondiage has any software capable of decrypting Imperial intelligence codes, at least not quickly. And if they do, they may not get all of the information, but it's gone. And if you remember, you were told to bring back the the computer cores, and the ship was second.
Yeah, the computer cores were first. That was the whole idea too, because I thought that at least if the computer cores were here, we could get them back and just leave the ship and not have to pay an exorbitant fee. I wasn't worried about the fee.
Right. And so the computer core is missing. The other thing that you find out, that lockbox that's duct taped to the underside of the desk is filled with 100,000 Imperial plaques. So each plaque, it's 100,000 credits in platinum plaques. They're basically they're rectangular size, but they're about the weight of a silver dollar.
So how much are these?
They're 100,000. There's 100,000 credits sitting there.
Well, I guess
I'm definitely going to share that with the rest of my crew to say that we found money. We could have used that, and I
guess that pays off my loan.
Pay off the ship, right? So
I'm going to add the 25 grand back to my character, so deduct that from the.
So
Sarda,
we'll have 75,000 there.
In your poking around, you find that in one of these storage rooms there was a safe. It has been cut open with a plasma torch, and the contents emptied.
Okay. All right. And so I'll make note of which room that was, so that if we have access to camera, we can see if there's camera records of who might have done that.
Yeah.
The camera records show you that it appeared to be whoever this customs group was that came in. Now,
okay,
make a computer plus. Somebody make a computer plus intellect check.
That'll probably be me. That's that's
you.
Yeah, my intellect's so high. So if I have a skill in something that uses that, actually most of my skills use intellect.
Yeah.
So that is 8 plus 3 is 11.
Okay, so the two things that you notice is that the security logs show this customs crew, when they come on the ship, and they of course come on through the main airlock just like you did up here. They split up. A team of 2 goes to the bridge. The other team of 2 heads straight back. One of them goes into this room with a plasma torch. The other one immediately goes down below decks.
So and they knew exactly where they're.
There's no video of the systems room. It is a blackout area. They don't. The intelligence group doesn't want any security of that because they don't want to give away anything. And but these guys appear to know exactly where they're going, what they're looking for.
Yeah. So So they know the ship's layout and everything. It looks like. All right. Well. I think it's well within our rights to demand to know what they took out of that safe, right?
Yes, we do.
We have video recorded evidence
something
of it.
off private property, really, is what they've done.
Well, they're customs, right? So they may have confiscated something, but if they confiscate something, there should be a record of what they confiscated, and so we'd want to know what that was.
Rodney told you that according to their logs, nothing was taken off ship.
Oh, I know that. I this is obviously bullshit. It's just that I'm we're gonna pretend that everything's on the up and up. We're gonna pretend, that whole thing, and so just sort of say we can see that a safe was opened, and here we have recordings of the customs group coming on and removing things from that. So we'd like whatever it is they removed, or at least to have a record of what it was.
Okay. So are you guys going to finish your clean job, or are you all packing up, or are you all going back to Port Authority to ask what the hell's going on, or what are your intentions here?
I have all the video and stuff like that. I'd be more than happy to continue clean if somebody who's a little bit more who has people skills, because that's the one thing where I truly lack.
I've got charm.
Jack's got people skills.
Yeah, I've literally got a 4 social to boot, so anytime I have to make a people skills, it's going to come out awkwardly bad for me. So I'd prefer to stay away from people skills.
He always sounds like a cop, no matter who he's talking to.
Yeah.
Happy to go with Josephus. And
I know you stole our computer. Give it back. Or I turn you into haggis.
I'm happy to go with Josephus. If Gabe wants to come, he's welcome too.
Yeah, Jack, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll clean.
Okay, if you're going to clean, though, do not clean any of the areas that they burglarized, because I have medical equipment and I might be able to get their DNA or something if we have to make a case.
He's an ex-detective. He's probably going to start taking fingerprint and DNA evidence.
I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff. That's kind of like my cleaning routine. I'm going to use my investigate skill, which is pretty much going to be able to analyze it, and I'll use any of your medical equipment that, and your help, and to make sure that, you could be my CSI, right? So there you go.
Yeah. So we're going to do a task chain, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think to listen to the Who as our opening intro.
And so when we go and talk to folks, let's not bring up we're just going to focus on the safe that got robbed.
We're
you
not
probably don't
want
to bring up the computer core that shouldn't exist.
Exactly. Yeah. We're just discussing the safe that was. Yeah.
So, here's my medic roll for the task chain for the investigation or whatever. That's a 12.
Ooh.
So I'll give you your roll. I guess we'll get a +4 to whatever you're normally doing.
Do you have
okay, that's another 8. So that's an 11 with my +3, and you said a +4 on top of that.
Yeah.
Brings it to a 15.
Okay. So and then Jack's going to make an investigation. Okay. So Jack, while George is collecting DNA evidence and this guy left something sticky over here and I don't think it's good. Jack's going over. Oh, there's a sock in this bin that's really stiff. He's going and cleaning and investigating, and you don't really find a whole lot. I mean, you get some fingerprint evidence, DNA evidence. But Jack, you decide that Jack decides he's going to go and start poking around, and he knows that a wire is broken somewhere between this switch on the bridge and what it's supposed to do. So Jack goes with no engineering expertise and starts poking around, and Jack is successful in finding that there are sections of the ship, as far as the controls go, that are completely missing and have been disrupted. So there's circuit panels that are missing. It's not impossible to fix. You guys could probably, well, maybe not. It could be fixed if you wanted to fix it, but you're going to have to go locally and source the parts. And
it'd be good to know if those were destroyed by the crew that robbed it, or whether they were destroyed by the crew of the ship itself.
So part of George's investigation, you can of course take fingerprint and DNA evidence around there too, but you don't have anything to really compare it to. That's the problem.
I didn't know if there was records of people moving around in those areas where that
No, you don't find any video record of that.
Okay.
It seems at that point the security logs were penetrated deep enough that that part of the video evidence, there's like a static, and then it goes back to normal.
Got it.
Bocephus and Starda make a recon plus intellect check.
Seven.
10.
Oh. So, as you are heading back towards back towards Port Authority, Sarda, out of the corner of your eye, you see that you are being tailed. Gentleman in a gray suit is tailing you back to Port Authority. He's keeping his distance, but it's clear that you have a tail.
His name is Mr. Lynch or Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Mr. Anderson.
Anderson.
I imagine this guy looks a lot like Jeffrey Donovan from Burn Notice. Except that the guy from Burn Notice wouldn't have been spotted.
Mr. Hand following us. So I will mention to Bocephus that we are being followed, and let him know that that's someone coming after us.
Well, perhaps that's the breadcrumbs we need to get to the end of the right trail, but it could also just be local intelligence trying to find out what we're doing. The Imperium brings attention whenever evil associated with it show up.
So I'm going to attempt to activate my clairvoyant ability, tactical awareness, where I can perceive dangers and foes around me, try to see if there's possibly another one, or someone I didn't notice.
Go for it.
A lot of times when you spot one pursuer, there are more. So the difficulty is 8 on this.
Yeah.
And so powers. And I got a 10. And that costs 2 psi points. Here I can...
So indeed, you are correct. You do pick up another signature. There is somebody else. They are working in tandem. They kind of have you flanked. But like I said, they're keeping a distance. They're probably a good 25 meters away. And the second one is doing a much better job of kind of remaining hidden. And he has a big camera with a telephoto lens that's taking pictures of you guys as you're moving. Meanwhile, the guy that you spotted... every time you kind of look over your shoulder or kind of glance out of your eye, he appears to be doing something. Oh, I'm checking luggage, or I'm
sure.
Is this my luggage? Oh no, I guess not. And he's talking to the bellhop or whatever. But they're clearly following you, and one guy's taking pictures.
So I'll let Bocephus know there's a second one. He's located in this location. He is taking photos of us as we speak.
Yeah, that falls in line where. We're still not sure who they're working for.
Do we want to try to interrogate one, or do we want to pretend we don't notice them and act like nothing's out of the ordinary?
Well, that's the thing. If they're actual government officials just trying to gather intel on us, anything we do outside of the realm of a normal citizen, pegs us for being something more than what we're trying to do. So, I think we should play dumb.
But if it's the two of us alone that are here, I know your capabilities. So, do you want to try to get some info on them?
I'll try a roll. Hell, I still got +1 in psi and some other skills. I'll try to read those surface thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, so this will be at a +2, and my target is 8. So I need to get a real good one.
So I'm gonna actually stop and pull out a data pad and act like I'm looking something up, so that so that he's not wandered around while he's doing this. So it looks like we have a reason to stop.
Yeah. I'll look off, absent-mindedly in the air as if I'm in deep thought. But I'm reading that guy that's taking pictures, reading his surface thoughts, and I got an 11.
So you learn that the operatives following you are not hostile to you. They're merely assigned to watch the ship and gather information. However, you also feel that there's a deeper truth to that. But that's not on his surface thoughts.
I'll whisper that to Sarda.
Okay.
To go on, I'm down to 7 psi points until I get a good rest.
Enhanced interrogation. Yeah, Jack wants to waterboard somebody.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the thing is that the people who might be hostile to us may have just hired local PIs to do this work for them, and so the last thing you want to do is start waterboarding local PIs who have no ill intent toward you. So yeah, so it's just one of those things where it's just good to know who it is and what they're looking for. So yeah, we'll continue with our. Obviously, these two people were not recorded on they're not the people that hacked the safe, right? So. Or that would be a little too simple.
Actually, Sarda, go ahead and make a recon plus intellect check with a boon. So roll 3 and take the 2 highest.
Not Bane, boon. Skills. Recon, intellect. 8.
You do recognize, with your clairvoyant, with your tactical awareness, you do recognize that these two were 2 of the people that were a part of the customs team aboard the ship.
Okay, so I'll let Bocephus know that these 2 are actually 2 of the people that still robbed the safe. Came on so they are directly involved in.
Oh, I mean, if we're going to do anything to engage them, we have to do it in a way that nobody sees anything, and then I mean the basic thing I could do, you might be able to stun one.
Yeah, I mean you're basically in an airport concourse. That's not that easy.
No. I think we need to set up an ambush at a later date and involve other people. But in the meantime, let's just act nonchalant. Does this change what we want to do? We now know that they probably weren't customs officials. Do we want to tip our hand by going and talking to customs and raising a stink about customs officials robbing our safe?
So by this point, you are now approaching Rodney's desk, and Rodney looks up and he goes, "Oh, it's you guys again. It's funny. Somebody else was asking about you."
Oh, really? Oh. Well, I imagine that's, the ship's been there for so long. I imagine people have a lot of questions.
This gentleman had a lot of questions. In fact, he seemed a little upset that he wasn't going to be able to purchase the ship through salvage, and he accessed your corporate personnel records.
Oh, okay. Well, it's
basically your guys' false identities as members of this corporation is what he got.
Okay.
But Rodney's perfectly happy. He switches his computer around. He shows you, and all of your names come up with complete bullshit backgrounds.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they really were going to be bullshit or not. Whether the company just actually hired us. I didn't know how that worked.
No, this is. Technically you are employees of the company, but
like planet of origin, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's all fictitious.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. All right. Well, we're kind of interested in the crew that was the customs agents. They seem to have removed some things from our ship, and I don't know if that was whether we need to claim them, or what we can do to get those back. Or at least find out what was removed, so that, if it was something that was contraband, that's fine. But we'd need to report back to our corporation, what may have occurred. We're not sure all what the crew that was here before was up to, or,
Rodney gets this shocked look on his face. Hold on. And he types and he goes, and he shows you his screen and he says, I'm showing that from the customs logs that nothing was removed from that vessel, but I can go ahead and put you in contact with Joseph, who's our customs officer, and he's in charge of the whole shebang here. And
don't forget, we have video proof that
yeah. That'd be great. Let's talk to Joseph.
So he gives you directions to Joseph's office, which is it's up on deck 2 of the fabulous Class C starport here at Acadie, and you get up to there, and this level is mostly offices, and
right.
You go in, and of course he's got yet another young secretary. And she looks up at you and she says, "Oh, hello, welcome to Customs Office. What can I do for you?"
Well, we are the crew of, we're 2 of the crew of the Perfect Stranger, and we understand that customs agents conducted an investigation of our ship recently, and so we were hoping to talk to someone in customs to discuss what might have been found, or whether what may have occurred with the result of that investigation.
She says, "Okay," and both of you make a Recon plus intellect check.
Sure. 9. Oh, sorry. It's actually only an 8. I got to turn Boone off, so ignore the.
I got a 9.
Third die. The character sheet. You have to remember to turn Boone off.
So she hands both of you a tablet, and it's basically a tablet, and I don't know if you guys know what kiosk mode is, but it's an old Netscape term, where you can only fill out what's on the tablet.
Sure.
And it's basically a paperwork form. She says, "Well, fill these out," and she goes over and she types into her keypad, Perfect Stranger crew here to see Joseph, blah blah blah. And across the screen is a big red stripe for just a second that says classified, and then it wipes off, and we're going to break there for the week. And we'll pick it up next week with possibly the shit hitting the fan.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
You guys, we'll leave on a cliffhanger, and you guys have a good week. Have a very happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Really fun.
I
Thanks
will be going and for a New Year's party. My wife and I have been invited to the local VFW, so we're going to go spend New Year's with the veterans, and
they've got cheap alcohol typically.
That's what we were told. They're like, yeah, and a heavy pour. So
yeah, that's I've got friends that are vets, and they love hanging out at the VFW. It's a nice bar to hang out.
Yeah, that's what we were told. So yeah, we plan on having a good time. So I will see you guys all next year.
Yeah.
I guess that's about it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys take care, and we'll see you next year.
All right.
That
Have
was
a good
pretty
night,
fun.
guys.
Have a good night.
Have a great night.
You too.
Thanks, guys.